And I want to talk now about the betting markets because they are putting their money behind Trump's impeachment and more. We have our old friend Sarbjit Bakhshi, Smarkets head of political markets, here with us now. Sarbjit, I think, and I'm not the only one who thought once this election was over that our conversations would be over. And I guess silver lining from all this chaos is that we get to keep talking like we're doing right now. So let's start with the big headline, which is impeachment. It's something that Congress is mulling over right now. What are the betting markets saying about it?
I mean, following the unprecedented events of last week, everyone's interested in these last days of the Trump presidency and how they're going to unfold. And Trump being impeached again is in our market. It's at yes at 90%. Our traders, the customers at Smarkets, are convinced that Trump is getting impeached for a second time. And I think that's the first time in US history that a president has been impeached twice as well.
I think it is as well. I'd have to kind of dust my civics history off in my memory. So when I see it also in the betting markets, following that, there's also serving a full term is also a line there in the betting markets. It seems to be pretty much in line with what we're seeing on the impeachment front, correct?
Well, the chance of him serving a full term is currently trading at 89% yes, which suggests that although he is in line to get impeached, it may not be the end of his presidency. So that might mean that it's not confirmed by the Senate. It might mean that this time's out and he serves his presidency and then is convicted by the Senate. So it's not a given that impeachment is actually going to remove him from office before the end of his term. So that's an interesting kind of spin on things. We've also got markets on what everyone was asking previously, which was, will he leave the White House on time? And our market's pretty clear on that. It's 89% yes, that he will leave by the 20th of January or on the day. So making way for the Biden presidency. And kind of interestingly, on the side of that, we've also looked at whether he would be pardoning himself. The market's pretty clear on that. It's got 64% saying that no, he won't. But of course, that's not the only way he can be pardoned. And when you think back to Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford, he could step down the day before, or could just step down at any point before the end of his presidency and allow Mike Pence to come in and pardon him if that's what he wants to do. The chance of him pardoning his children is very unclear at the moment because we've got roughly 50-50 in our market. It's yes, 54% that Trump will pardon his children. So it's up in the air at the moment, according to our customers, about whether that's going to happen or not.
Of course, and then there's also the thought that President-elect Biden might actually give him a pardon. I've heard that rumor being spread as a potential going forward. Very unclear on that one. Not sure if your betting markets ever plan on handling that one, given where we go with impeachment. Now, Sarbjit, I want to ask you, because as I mentioned, I think a lot of folks thought that the political markets would be pretty much die down post-election, at least here in the United States, or at least on around elections here in the US. I'm wondering how much this political chaos has really boosted those markets at Smarkets. How much money has been pouring in, let's just say, since last week?
So we've seen enormous amounts of trading since the events of last week. So we're probably talking about a couple of $100,000 that have been traded just in the last week on these markets. Trump is the story that kind of keeps on giving. I mean, I think people are always trying to second guess him, always trying to understand what he's about or understand what he's going to do next. And with the power of social media, where he was on every day, multiple times a day, he gave a lot of fuel to those speculation. And what we're seeing now is actually, even since the bans that he has acquired, people are still wondering what's going to happen. He's such an unpredictable character. I think he's the most unpredictable president the US has ever had. And everyone's just piling in on these markets because they want to see how this thing will unfold. They want to have their view and they want to kind of better understand what's going to happen.